Welcome to the 127th commencement of the Wharton School. Dean Robertson, members of the faculty, members of the class of 1961 celebrating your 50th reunion, members of the class of 1986 celebrating your 25th reunion, members of the class of 1991 celebrating your 20th reunion, members of the class of 1996 on your 15th reunion, distinguished guests, alumni, and members of the class of 2011 and your families. Welcome. Well, it seems like the weather has cooperated a bit to allow us to come together this morning to honor and celebrate the achievement of Wharton's class of 2011. Hey, seniors, remember back in senior reception when I told you about speech season? Well, hold on just a little bit longer. The end of the season is indeed in sight. A couple of more of these, and you will no longer be Penn students, but Penn alumni. So bear with us just a little bit more for a few more words of advice and praise. Just 4 years ago, you began your freshman year at the University of Pennsylvania, and I started my first term as Vice Dean and Director of the Undergraduate Division. Wow, time really goes by, doesn't it? Since then, you have slogged through Math 104, figured out what opium is, built your teamwork skills through countless group projects, forged lifelong friendships with people you might not have ever met, but for your simultaneous path through Penn. Along the way, you might have found new academic or co-curricular passions. Maybe it was a club, a class, or a cause. But whatever it is, don't let go of it when you leave campus. When you follow your passion, you will not only find life more satisfying, but will be open to pursue new opportunities and have the strength and energy to go after them. Do something that you enjoy that stimulates your curiosity, making you more likely to retain information, figure things out easily, and challenge yourself more. It's truly much easier to succeed and be happy if you're doing something that you love. But no matter what path you choose, I have confidence in you as you embark upon this world because you have achieved so much while you were here. You have established outstanding academic initiatives through the Wharton Undergraduate Advisory Board, served as team advisors for Management 100, led over 40 Wharton Council recognized clubs, which contributed to a stronger undergraduate community through numerous conferences, performed in dance recitals, orchestras, and theatrical productions, worked on countless hours of research and projects with our distinguished faculty, excelled in varsity sports as all Ivy players, worked to make knowledge of Wharton High School a reality, engaged with our Wharton alumni around the world and on campus, and served your peers across the university as 2011 class board officers, members of the UA, SAC, SPEC, SKU, and NEC. And parents, if you don't know what those are, your sons and daughters will tell you. You have grown, stretched, and clearly achieved a tremendous amount. As Wharton undergraduates, I know you have the skills and knowledge to make a difference, and that you're going to be able to take advantage of all the opportunities that the world has to offer. Life is full of surprises, and just like these 4 college years, it's going to go by faster than you think. You should embrace the unexpected, learn from it, adapt it, grow. Let your passions lead you to success, fulfillment, and happiness. You know, I heard a story that captures this sentiment. A young woman goes to a wise teacher and says, "Where do I find happiness?" The wise teacher spread his thumb and his pinky like this. The young woman was alarmed. That distance could be very far on a map. She shared her dismay, and the wise teacher answered, "This is the distance from your navel to your heart." Stop staring inward and obsessing on what if, and start thinking with your heart, and let your passion be your guide. That's my bit of advice to you. We're going to miss you. Some of you might even miss us. Always know you're going to have friends at Wharton, and especially in the undergraduate division. Drop us an email. Let us know what's going on with your lives. When the time comes, return to mentor those who come after you. But above all, as I tell my own children, be safe and make good choices. And now I'm pleased to introduce Dean Thomas S. Robertson. Dean Robertson is a longtime member of the marketing faculty here at Wharton. As dean, he provides a strategic vision for all of our educational, research, and outreach programs, advancing Wharton as a source of innovation and a force for good around the world. He is currently leading Wharton's $550 million fundraising campaign with an emphasis on student scholarships, hiring world-class faculty, and programs in such areas as global leadership, entrepreneurship, and social impact. Please join me in welcoming Dean Robertson.
Okay, thank you, Dean Phillips. And good morning, all. It's wonderful to see you. A friend gave me this advice about my role today. He said, Tom, think of yourself as the body at an Irish wake. They need you to have the party, but nobody expects you to say very much. And I thought this might be particularly appropriate in case it does rain, so we do want to move along. But I do have a few words to offer to you as a very special group of graduates. Class of 2011, you did it. And you did it with the help of your proud families, many of whom are here with us today. And they claim our affection, and they've earned our gratitude for all the support they've provided you over the past 4 years. Won't you join me now in showing our appreciation for all that they've done? Please. Today's ceremony says something important about human nature. We're drawn to the idea of permanence. We mark the occasion by wearing these robes that can be traced back for hundreds of years. If anyone tells you that human society doesn't advance, you might want to remind them that what you're wearing today was once considered high fashion. All your years of hard work have earned you this special privilege to be able to dress just like the junior recording secretary at the Spanish Inquisition. Nonetheless, these robes are important, and they're a visible way of connecting us with our past, of highlighting our part in the university's venerable heritage. They remind us that what you have accomplished has a mark of permanence. But they also create something of an illusion. Hap and mishap govern the world, says an old English proverb, and nowhere is this more true than in the world of business. Take the fabled Fortune 500, the list of America's biggest corporations ranked by revenue every year since 1955. Of that first list of 500, only 62 remain. In the past 2 years alone, 71 companies have fallen off the list. Names such as Anheuser-Busch, Circuit City, Lehman, Tribune, and we could go on. Some of those are mergers. Some of the companies simply cease to exist. And what of the Dow Jones Industrial Average? It was created in 1896 to give a dollar average of the leading companies representing American business. I think you'll enjoy this. Companies such as the Distilling and Cattle Feeding Company. That was one of the Dow companies. Or American Tobacco. There were a bunch of other interesting ones, but they told me in the interest of time I couldn't read them all to you. Of the original 12, only General Electric remains as a member of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Hap and mishap rule the world, and they define business, the world that you're choosing to enter. No matter how carefully you plan, your path will not be predictable. In fact, it might feel much like it might not feel much like a path at all. At times, it will seem as if you've gone through the looking glass and entered a world in which the landscape and rules are forever changing. Now, I don't mean to alarm you. It's quite the opposite. We celebrate today because you, our newest Wharton graduates, will soon be the ones leading that change. Your role from this day forward is not to reflect the world that is to come, but to shape it. In order to shape the world, however, you must first mold yourself. Your personal brand will depend upon your integrity and reputation, the spirit of innovation you bring to every facet of your life, and your ability to develop and evolve. In a changing world, this is your greatest asset. Steve Jobs certainly saw the world change in 1985 when he was forced out of the company he helped create. 12 years later, Apple stock was trading at only $4.65, and its market share of PCs in the US was less than 4%. Clearly, this was a company with nowhere to go. But Apple re-embraced Steve Jobs, who in the meantime had achieved success with Pixar and Next, precisely because of the personal brand he had created. He was a fearless innovator, the kind of leader who could be counted on to anticipate and create new markets. And indeed, here we all are today, taking pictures with our iPhones. As the world changes, those who endure are those who seek new directions. By exercising your integrity, your innovative spirit, and your willingness to reinvent yourself from time to time, you'll find yourself fulfilled and challenged, actively shaping the world. It was Ben Franklin who observed that our success and happiness are achieved not so much by great pieces of good fortune that seldom happen, as by little advantages that occur every day. Franklin knew from his own achievements that success almost never depends on a single heroic moment. Rather, it is a continuous process of evolution, of moving forward in small, thoughtful steps. This is, of course, especially true of your education. The global economy evolves rapidly, and new markets are constantly emerging. You all know the BRIC countries of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And now we have civets. Colombia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Egypt, Turkey, and South Africa. 20 years from now, we will no doubt have a new acronym defining new growth markets. The same is true of technology. Many of the businesses and industries that you will one day lead do not yet exist. Hedge funds, private equity, internet business, and biotechnology, enormous areas of opportunity now, did not really exist 20 years ago. Likewise, in 2031, we'll have to consider regenerative medicine, informatics, nanotechnology, machine learning, quantum computing, and countless other opportunities I can't even begin to imagine. That's where you're going to work. Today's a proud moment, but the real measure of your achievement will occur over the course of a long and wonderful adventure. It will develop, as our university's founder observed, by little advantages that occur every day. Today you leave not having learned, but rather moving another step along in your learning. Congratulations, graduates. Go forth, do great things. Make us proud, for certainly we are proud of you. Thank you. I would like Now, to introduce our student speaker, each year, a representative from the graduating class is selected as Wharton's graduation speaker, and this year it's my pleasure to introduce Eric Mogil. Eric is graduating with a concentration in management and an advanced language proficiency in Mandarin. During his time at Wharton, he was Management 100 team advisor and hosted the end-of-year event for the freshman class. He spent a summer working for Apple in China, spent a semester abroad in Belgium, was an active member of the Wharton Management Club, and even had time to found an e-commerce high-end retail business focused on charitable contributions, which is launching this summer. He's also a triplet. I don't know what the relevance of that is, but please join me in welcoming Eric Mogil. Eric.
Good morning, Dean Robertson, Deputy Dean Gibbons, Vice Dean Phillips, faculty, staff, distinguished alumni of all reunion years, family, friends, and classmates. I am honored to be speaking today. All week I was thinking to myself, don't screw this up, scrawny. That was actually a text message from my mother. Indeed, I hope I do this justice and can convey the anything but ordinary journey that brought us to right here, to this moment on this field. It has been a journey about gumption and fire. Gumption is defined as shrewd or spirited initiative and resourcefulness, that desire to act. It is the common attribute that unites us as a graduating class. Gumption. I'm going to convey this message through a Plutarch quote. He said, "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." Think about fire for a second. It's visually enticing, moving rapidly and wildly, and burning with a passion. This gumption I speak of today is the fire and passion burning inside all of us. I told you, this was a story about gumption and fire. But where did it begin? It began 1,349 days ago on September 4th, 2007. The first time we were all together, meeting each other and sizing up the competition. Our first week at Wharton can only be adequately described as the feeling one gets when the movie Inception ends. What is going on? No, it wasn't a dream within a dream, within a dream within the fortress we call Huntsman Hall. Although after a few nights of NSO, I bet some of you thought that it was. As it goes, perception is reality. And this reality was sinking in faster than an MBA pouncing on your GSR the minute your reservation is over. On that day, as freshmen, our minds were but fires yet to be kindled, and the flame was sparked. And the resulting journey has been a robust one. Along the way, we've developed nomenclature and a vernacular indiscernible to the outside world. Status reports, cohorts, web cafe, core, hey, Ted Chung, you're fired. Spike, BPub, OCR, GSR, DCF, OMG. Alas, let me paint this picture with numbers and put a bit of evidence behind our gumption, because it is Wharton after all. 57 GSRs to study in, 300 seats in GO6 to sleep in, 74 finals and midterms to prepare for, with all the all-nighters that go with them. A semester abroad, one awkward encounter under the button, and one continuous conversation over 3 years, 8 months, and 11 days with the 127th graduating class of Wharton. Give it up. We made it. Behind these numbers are the qualitative achievements that signal why we are ready to graduate: your gumption and your actions. They say that Wharton is business and more. while you, my friends, are the more. You're revolutionary on your own volition, acting on individual passions to accomplish extraordinary things. Think about it. Wharton students set their minds to something and just do it. Because of your gumption, you resemble savvy business moguls in the making. You're moguls, I'm mogul. In a way, we're all moguls here. Wharton has always been about the people, about you, about us, about our incredible faculty, to which we are sincerely grateful for their kindness and lessons. And it will always be about the people. While we are all vastly different, it's a sense of initiative and resourcefulness that unites us as a community, as Wharton. We believe in each other, and that's important because we'll meet again one day, I promise. And as the leaders of our respective fields, we'll continue to believe in each other and in our Wharton gumption. Because I'm bad with goodbyes, I'm gonna end with an Apple advertisement from the late 90s, which I adapted and fits our class quite well. Here's to the crazy ones, the rebels, the misfits, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They can quote us, disagree with us, glorify or vilify us. About the only thing they cannot do is ignore us. Because we change things. We invent, we imagine, we heal, we explore, we create. We push the human race forward. And while some may see us as the crazy ones, we here at Wharton see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. I'm so honored to be your friend. I hope you find what you love and never ever lose your gumption or fire. Congratulations, and for now, goodbye.
The class of 2011 had the opportunity to select a faculty member to address them at graduation. All Wharton seniors had the opportunity to vote, and this year's selection was Professor Adam Grant. Adam is a management professor who has won numerous awards for his courses in organizational behavior, negotiations, teamwork, and leadership. He received his BA from Harvard, his PhD from Michigan in organizational psychology. He is a former All-American springboard diver, advertising director, conflict mediation, and my personal favorite, professional magician. Please join me in welcoming Adam Grant.
Esteemed graduates, in 4 years at Wharton, you've been challenged to make some serious decisions. McKinsey or Goldman Sachs? Stay on campus or study abroad? Rival, Princeton or Brown? Team Edward or Team Jacob? Today I'd like to offer some guidance on making decisions for the future. My original plan was to practice what we preach here at Wharton. Tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then tell you what I told you. But let's get real, Management 100. I only have 4 minutes. So let's talk about how you make your choices. Here are a few statements from a decision-making survey created by my colleague Barry Schwartz. Take a moment to think about whether you agree with them. I never settle for second best. When I'm in the car listening to the radio, even if I like the song, I often check other stations just to see if something better is playing. I'm a big fan of lists that rank things. The best movies, the best graduation speeches, the best looking professors. And I treat relationships like clothing. I expect to try on a lot before I find the perfect fit. More than anywhere that I've collected data, Wharton students strongly endorse these statements. No comment. They reflect being a maximizer, someone who always looks for the best option when making decisions. Wharton is full of maximizers, and striving for the best certainly helped you get here. But is seeking the best always what's best for you? Or does being a maximizer come with a cost? Psychologists explored this question in a study of over 500 college seniors searching for jobs. In the fall, seniors completed surveys to identify the maximizers in the group. Over the following 6 months, all the students reported on their progress. And as expected, maximizers did better than their peers. They applied for many more jobs and ended up accepting jobs with, on average, 20% higher salaries. This was true even after controlling for their universities, their grades, and their majors. Looking for the best paid off. Here's the surprise. Despite doing better, maximizers actually felt worse. They experienced more negative emotions during the job search, were less satisfied with the jobs they accepted, and were more likely to question whether they made the right decision. Why? They spent more time comparing their outcomes to their peers to figure out whether they really had the best job, and ruminated more about what-if scenarios. Searching for the best made them less happy. So what was different about the students who were happy with their job choices, despite earning lower salaries than the maximizers? These students are what we call satisficers, people who choose an option that's just good enough for them. Instead of spending their lives chasing after the best possible job, car, house, romantic partner, satisficers take the first acceptable option that comes to them, and they're usually happier with their choices as a result. I think there's a lesson in this for all of us. If you care about your happiness, not only your success, there's wisdom in aiming for good instead of best. This is especially important for those of you who cried when you got your first A- and are wallowing in despair because you're graduating with only a 3.99 GPA. So my advice to you is this. Every once in a while, set your sights a little lower and settle for good enough. When you hear a song that you like on the radio, keep listening to it. When you find a great restaurant, go there more than once. When you fall in love, don't keep looking for someone better. Now granted, sometimes you'll sacrifice a bit of success, but so what? You're joining the ranks of the business world's most elite, distinguished, accomplished alumni. Alumni like Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and perhaps one day, Barron Trump. Anyway, here's the punchline. The most valuable advice I ever received on choices. Don't make the right decision, make the decision right. You'll face plenty of win-win choices in your lives, and the quality of the decision you make will be determined not by picking the right one, but by the actions you take post-decision to make the most of it. In fact, I firmly believe that the most important choices are right versus right, where there isn't an objective best. One of the advantages of aiming for good enough is that it frees up time and energy for other things that matter. But if you're still torn, I'd go with Team Jacob. Thank you.